Welcome back. It is the next day. I've got a little bit of work that I did off camera here, cleaned stuff up, cleaned up the turbo and the manifold just to make sure all the sealing surfaces were good because we're going to be installing those. Now, I put the pipe in here for the heater outlet, inlet, whichever one, the coolant temperature sensor, thermostat, and thermostat housing. Those are all installed. I also installed the intake cover plate as well, since we're going to be most likely today throwing on the new injectors. So what I'm going to do now is grab the manifold and turbo and put them on, and you'll see me do that here. This is heavy. I'm just going to set it right here for now. And grab all my gaskets. I've cleaned all the sealing surfaces, so those are all good to go. This should be interesting. So the factory gaskets, they have a little retainer on them, so you can put them on the actual manifold itself. These ones don't have that, so yeah, this should be good. I think what I'm going to do is just hang the manifold by 2 bolts in the center, put the gaskets on, put the bolts where they need to go, and kind of just go from there. So I have 2 of my middle bolts. That'll be there and there, we'll call it. There, just keep it out of the way. And up we go. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Actually, I don't need to. That just rests there on the hoist. Yeah, okay, never mind. I don't know what I was so worried about. We're good. I was going to say installing the number 6 gasket, but I'm not, so now I am. Okay, installing the number 6 gasket. Come on. There it is. Okie dokie. Okay. Now, I've got a stud to go on number 6 right back here. I really didn't think putting that pipe there. Can I pull this back enough? No. So I have to unhook it from right there, which is okay. What is that? 10 millimeter? Okay, that should leave me just enough room to get the stud in there. Oh, I'm gonna have to unhook the hose too. Or do I go like that? Nope. I'm only struggling a little bit here. No big deal. I have to remove this hose, which is okay because I already did that. Okay, now that's out of the way. I can install this stud. I'm going to leave that hose off of there because I know where it goes already, and I don't need it there right now. Okay, so now it says to torque them from the inside out. So I'm going to start with cylinder number 3 here and just work my way up and down and out, and then I'll do a final torque on them with an actual torque wrench and not my gun here. All right, so all 12 of these get torqued to 32 foot-pounds of torque, and you're supposed to start again in the middle and work your way out, and then go over it again from the middle and out. Okay, so that's all of them. Did a final torque all the way around on them, and they all tightened up just a little bit more. So now what I'm going to do is hook up, I'm going to torque the turbocharger nuts here, because I didn't torque them while it was on the bench, which I probably should have now looking at it, because there is not a whole heck of a lot of clearance in there. So I'm going to find out what the torque spec is, and if I can't do it on the inside ones, I'm just going to go to Gutentight. Although this is not something you really want leaking. The torque spec in the manual for these nuts says 45 foot-pounds, or sorry, 42 foot-pounds, but I'm going to go to 45, just because I'm a bad boy, and no one can stop me. That felt like 45. The problem is you can't get a torque wrench on these, so I'm using a crowfoot, and it's not doing me any favors at all. Like, this sucks. Yeah, no, we're going to the preferred torque spec of Gutentight, or till the wrench slips off. That works good too. That's loosening, not tightening. Seth, get your head in the game. That feels good. This one's going to be a challenge. Maybe, just maybe, I can get a socket on there. Look at that, you can too. Oh, I might be able to get this back one too. What I'm doing is fishing my extension through the wastegate part and putting my socket on afterwards. Oh yeah, that was its spec, so I did pretty good. Just by hand, just by feel. I know what 45 foot-pounds is. Definitely. Okay, so now I'm going to reinstall this pipe, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, so the turbo and manifold is installed. Now I'm going to be putting in all 6 injectors. So watch me do that. Oh, for fuck's sake. Light coating of engine oil. Okay, here comes injector number 1. In. Alright, there's all 6 injectors installed. Now I just got to torque them all to spec and install the new injector tubes. It's hard to believe that 8 or 9 months ago this is what I initially set out to do, is just to replace the injectors, and now I'm standing here with the engine out and new injectors in it. I guess task failed successfully. Okay, I'm going to torque all these puppies up, put the new tubes in, and then we're laughing. Or not, I don't know. I haven't laughed very much so far. Alright, so we got all new injector tubes because we got all new injectors. So we're going to put all 6 of these in, and then tighten them up to the torque spec of 11 foot-pounds. Awesome. All right, now that those are kind of just finger tight in there, we're gonna torque them up to 11 foot-pounds. This is a 24mm socket. Okay, so we got all those torqued down to the initial torque. Now we're gonna come in and do the injector hold down bolts to 89 inch-pounds of torque. Okay, so that is all of our injectors torqued down to 89 inch-pounds. And now we're going to tighten the injector connecting nuts to 37 foot-pounds. That is our final step in this escapade. And with that, our injectors are completely installed. So I'm going to take a little break for some food here and come back, and then we'll button up the fuel system, throw the intake on, and we can get this bad boy into the truck. Hooray! Welcome back, everybody. It's the next day once again. I didn't really film a little ending there, but we got all the injectors in last night, all torqued up, the connector tubes all in as well, finally torqued. I finished some routing on the wiring harness up here, installed this bracket as well off camera, and a power steering bracket down here. We've also got the fuel filter and rail all hooked up. You didn't get to see that because it was just a kind of a pain in the butt to do. What else did I do over here? We've got the turbocharger hooked back up. That's the wastegate actuator. I've got 11 of the 12 push rods in. I've got the last one here in my hand. Got all the valve crossheads in place as well. So those are going to stay there before we put the valve bridge on. We're also going to get the fuel lines on to each and every injector, torque them up. So we're all good to go there. And then the engine is pretty much ready to go back into the truck. I got some other final touches that I'll do off camera. Just some boring stuff, making sure that everything's where it's supposed to be. Changing out the fuel filter because I do have a non-OEM one here. This is a Baldwin PF7977. It promises 5-micron filtration, whereas the factory filter from Mopar, or most of the other ones you can get, are only 7-micron. There is another company, AFE makes it. It's a 3-micron filter, however, it does not do water separation from what I can find. So yeah, I'm going to now install this. What I've been doing is just taking my assembly lube, putting a little bit on the end, well, actually a lot of it. The more the merrier. Just dousing it in that. And now these are a little tricky, so I'm going to bring you in a little closer here. So we're going to go down into the hole, and you got to find the lifter. It's kind of like a guessing game. So there it is there, and when you're in there, you can feel it go up and down, and you can't really push it side to side. If it goes in, and it'll fall all the way down. I've had a couple do that now. It'll fall all the way in, and then you're no good. You got to pull it back up and try and find it. And then what I've also been doing, since we're going to be putting the rocker arms on, is just filling up the tops of the push rods with oil, with assembly lube, just so they're all lubricated for when we put these all together. So now I'm going to go through and just lube all the tops of the crossheads, and then we'll put the valves in, or the rocker arms in. Well, that's all 12 of those done up. So now what I get to do is put the rocker arms on. So we're going to do those one at a time. The intake arm is going to be first. That's this one right here. And I've got the not new rocker arm, but the OEM rocker arm here. And so a couple of these, the bit here broke off, this little cup, and that just goes right in here. And the plastic that goes in here on these can crack. And what that'll do is it won't hold this in during assembly. So it's not good for assembly, but it's fine when it's in the engine. So you just kind of got to be careful is really all you got to do. So what I've decided to do is just fill this cup up with some assembly lube and smack that in there. And since this stuff is sticky, it should in theory hold that there, and it looks like it is. So all of these are loosened off here, and by all of these I mean the rocker arm adjusters, the valve lash adjusters. And this other one is good, it hasn't moved. So I'm just going to get those hand tight, and I'm going to go ahead and just snug these all up with my drill driver here. This thing barely puts out any torque. I just got it set to setting 9, so it just gets them snug and in there. And then I'm going to do the rest of these. You'll see me do that. And then we're going to get these all torqued down to spec, all these rocker hold down bolts. And then we'll lash the valves and put the fuel lines on next. So watch me do that. Okay, now we're going to torque up the fuel lines to the injector connectors. These are high pressure lines, and they get torqued to 22 foot-pounds. Then at the rail, I believe they're 24. I'll double check that though. That is all for the fuel system. Now for the fun part, we're going to lash all the valves. So I'm bringing you around to the other side yet again. We'll lash all the valves, and that'll be this engine pretty much done. We'll put the grid heater on and the intake, and it'll be good to go. From what I am seeing here, I don't see any other wiring connections that are loose and hanging fancy free, so I think we should be a-okay and ready to rock. I think. Don't quote me on that. Not yet anyway. Alright, so our intake spec is to be 10 thou on the intake, and the exhaust is going to be 26 thou. So you measure that right here, and holy crow, that is loose. That one's also loose. So we're going to need some tightening. I'm just going to back those off all the way. What I'm going to do is just put my 10 thou gauge in there, and you just snug them up. I'll double check this with the 10 thou. And we're not fitting, so it tightened while we were tightening. Oh yeah, that's solid right there. But there is also minimum and maximum specs. For the intake, it's 6 thou, which is a lot. I'm going with these specs here, 10 and 26. And you're allowed 15 thou on the intake and 34 on the exhaust. Obviously, I'm going to stick around that 10 and 26 and just try and keep it there. So, but it's nice to know that if I'm one thou off, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'll just snug this one up. Too snug. I'll say right there. Right there. That one's snug down. 26 thou fits like a glove. So I'm going to cut this here. I'm going to do the rest of them just so I remember where I am. My battery's running low. I'm also running low. I need food. So I'm going to finish these and then go grab some food, and then we'll come back and I think we'll start stabbing this thing into the truck. Welcome back. We've got the engine lifted up. All the accessories are bolted onto it. The rocker arms are all spec'd to where they're supposed to be. Fuel lines are all hooked up. We've got a new fuel filter in here. Wires are routed to where they're supposed to be. The intake and grid heater are on. I got our pulleys all on here, and she is ready to go in. It's off the stand for the first time in 3 or 4 months. I've got all of our engine mounts on, and yeah, I don't think there's anything left to do other than to jam it in. So let's see that happen. Maybe. Lower down and then attempt number 2.
How do you fix the tilt?
I move this chain, the hook up further, and then move these, because these are what keep it in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope. Damn. He's good. For sure.
I'm not holding it.
Okay. Just keep a hand on it, just in case. I'll move it up probably 2 or 3 chains. All right, so after 4 hours, a bunch of mucking around with the transmission, which I didn't film because it's very hard to film in there. There's barely enough room for me. A bunch of other mucking around with engine mounts and everything else. Help from Adrian and JC, both of them. We can finally do this. That's right. It's supported under the engine mounts, the transmission. The engine is officially in. I got to put the valve cover on, put it all back together. But that's tomorrow's job, so we'll be putting the final touches on the truck itself, putting the front end accessory all back together, putting fluids in it, and starting it for the first time in 8-9 months. All right, welcome back. It is the next day. It's 12:30 at night-ish, something around there. As you can see, it's 12:25. We've got everything back together on the mighty Cummins. The engine is in. It was a fiasco, a struggle. not good. There's a lot of swearing, and camera battery ran out. I ran out of storage. I didn't have time to go run and grab another SD card. Just dumped off all the footage, and it's been a pain to get it to this point, but we're here. Been working on it for about 5 or 6 hours now just today. So I need to fill it up with fluids, put the batteries in it, and turn the key, see what happens. Get oil pressure, all that fun stuff. So watch me add some fluids here, and then we'll start her up. All right, we got AJ up there as the woodman, just in case this thing tries to run away on me. Thank you, AJ. Much appreciated. We're gonna hop in and see if it'll start. First things first, it unlocks. Windows are down. Mileage is showing. We're in park. I can't believe it! Dude, I'm in a engine run! Oh. I think we have a power steering leak. Oh yeah, it's massive. Okay, that's exciting. It ran. It runs. We have a massive power steering leak. I don't know where it's coming from, but it is huge. I don't see any of the hoses leaking. I also don't see any of the tranny hoses leaking, which leads me to believe that, from what I can see, it's the actual steering gear itself. The sector shaft seal is leaking. It is just pissing out of there. Really bad. Like I said, project for another day. That's probably just from sitting and steering it without any power assist. So that's kind of my fault, kind of not. But whatever, life goes on. So that's gonna do it for this episode. We made the Cummins run, start to finish. Brand new engine. I still got to break it in and fix the power steering leak. There's a couple other things that I've kind of just left unhooked. I got to hook up the batteries and hook up the air cleaner and clean up some stuff. But all in all, we're running. So dream accomplished, I guess. Best day at work ever. So anyways, we'll see you in the next one. All right, so it's been a little bit over a month since I got the truck done, I guess, and the engine in and running. This is just kind of a 1 month update after everything's all been said and done. As on the note we left, it was kind of like oh, does it even drive? Yes, it does. I've been driving it for over a month now. So it's been great. I've put about 1,200 kilometers on it ever since the rebuild. Did an oil change on it not too long ago, and I'm about to take it to Calgary, which is a little over a 1,200 kilometer round trip. I think it's about 1,300 kilometers, whatever that is in miles. I'll put it up on screen here. But yeah, this is the truck here. I just got new headlights for it since the old ones look like crap. Still got the tow mirrors up, even though I don't tow anything. Take it for a little drive, a little startup for you guys. So it starts up real nice, really quick. I mean, it sounds fantastic. It's running perfect. I haven't had any check engine lights or anything of the sort, except for the one that came on because I left the grid heater wire unhooked when I hooked everything back up to battery power, which very minor stuff. That's why the grid heater wasn't running when I was doing my initial fire up. You didn't see inside the cab when I was doing that, but yeah, that wasn't happening. I was cranking it so much because I wanted oil pressure to build before the fuel got to the injectors, and thankfully it did. I did have oil pressure while I was doing that, but I just figured I'd do a little bit of a better outro, showing you that, you know, if you don't know anything about engines really at all, like I'm pretty much a learner just coming into this. I do know a little bit here and there, but obviously I'm no expert. But I got this done, like a whole diesel engine. I put it into a truck and I made it run, so just showing that you can do it too. You put your mind to it, you get all the right stuff, you ask questions from people who know, that are knowledgeable in that field, and you too can do it. Yeah, don't let it hold you back. Just do it, honestly. I did it. It cost a lot of money. I had a lot of fun though. Maybe not a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun now because the truck runs, and it runs great, and I'm about to take it on a big road trip. You'll see more of this truck in the future. I'm going to do a transmission rebuild on it because this one's getting tired. It's got a lot of K on it. But yeah, you'll see more of this truck in the future. I got a lot of body work to do to it, and other little improvements here and there. But for now, this is the first vehicle on Fridge and Pipes that actually runs and drives. I'll prove the driving part to you. Yes, we are moving. Moving. Yeah. On that note, it's time to end the episode here. Thank you so much for watching. If you stayed till the end, like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. You will see more of us coming up in the future here, getting more vehicles running, because apparently it's a thing that we can do. Just proved it on this episode here. So watch along as we make more stuff running and drive, and have a good time doing it, have a few laughs, and because that's what we're all about here. So stick around and enjoy the rest of what we got to offer. Surprise guest. It's that guy.
It is the big man. Oh, this is a reman from somewhere else. JP 09811. Interesting. Bush did 711. Disaster. The valves are all
right about to go in.
Yeah, I had it in, but it wasn't had enough tilt to it. Wasn't had enough tilt, didn't have enough tilt to it.
Oh, sorry.
It was tilting on the front end more than the back, so.